Now, Dr. Miklos, what was it you wanted?
Well, I saw you admiring the swords on some of the armor displays. So, I thought you might want to see this beautiful specimen of Mr. Heimlich's.
Thank you, I suppose. It is quite beautiful. Was it forged in Toledo, Spain?
Yes, it was. Wool, Mr. Heimlich keeps it very sharp, as you can see. It's... Stop!
What is it, woman?
Mr. Heimlich has been having trouble with the mounting of that sword, Mr. Najir. If you were to touch it, it would more than likely fall off the wall and kill you.
Oh, my. How can I ever thank you, Dr. Miklos? You seem to have saved my life.
Let me see. Do you have any scars or tattoos, Mr. Najir?
Well, yes, I suppose I do. Just the foolish thing that I had done in my impulsive youth.
Ah, please let me see it, Mr. Najir. It would make me so very happy.
Oh, Dr. Miklos, this is very embarrassing. I'd rather not.
Are you forgetting that I just saved you from almost certain beheading, Mr. Najir?
No. Very well. I will show you. Just a minute. Let me take off my shoes.
Your shoes! How exciting!
Here they are. Look quickly. What if someone were to come in?
Ah, how beautiful. Egyptian sun symbols, yes?
Yes. Please, may I put my shoes back on now?
Oh, if you must. I've never seen tattoos on the bottom of the feet before, Mr. Najir. Tell me, did it hurt very much? Did you bleed?
Yes.
Ah.
You hear nothing. You hear nothing. You don't. That 5. A large, hairy creature with at least one huge murky liquid of the vat. That 10. Is that a unicorn murky liquid? Can't be. Unicorns are mythical creatures. That 14. There's a vaguely humanoid shape floating in the murky liquid. That 13. Indistinct shapes are floating in the murky liquid. None of the creatures are close enough to the glass to see
something.
Mr. Leach, can you let me out of this museum? I don't like it in here. People keep dying.
Sorry, Miss Bow. I seem to have lost my door keys.
Oh, I find that very disturbing.
Me too. I can't even let myself out of the building. We're all staying here until I find those keys. Now there's a Weasley little fella. I've heard he's a stool pigeon. That's a dangerous way to make a living. I'm not fond of the docks myself, Miss Bow. I did a short stint over there a couple of years back. I got treated like a dog and nearly got squashed flat by a huge crate of oranges one time. No, thank you. At first, I wasn't sure I'd like it here in this big spooky old place. But it was so peaceful at night and there's so many interesting things everywhere. I really enjoy it now. That fella gives me the willies. He's always hanging around, looking over my shoulder with those suspicious eyeballs of his. Also, to tell you the ugly truth, I just haven't trusted the Germans since the war. That Kaiser guy was a real high hat.
You fought in the Great War, Mr. Leach?
Yes, I did, Miss Bow. I came back with a plate in my head and a chest full of medals, and then I couldn't get a job to save my soul.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, don't let it bother you, Miss Bow. I'm just jawing. I'm doing fine now.
It's a sack of plaster, sometimes used for making molds. A full bottle of Dr. Moric oil. You pick it up and hello, little ferret. It's Olympia's ferret. The trunk has a name tag identifying it as part of Carrington's personal library. This trunk is locked.
Something I can do for... Something I can...
You don't... You hear nothing. You don't...
Something I... I'm sorry, Miss Bow, but I'm kind of busy right now. Is there something I can help you with? Miss Bow, I've got a lot of...
Oh, Wolfie, I'm so glad you agreed to meet me here.
You know I can't resist you, my little stuffed grape.
Oh, Wolf, you are so strong. Lift me up on the desk, yes?
Anything you say, my strudel. You know I'd do anything for you. Lie, steal, murder, especially murder.
Wolfie, love, you give me the chills. Please, scare me some more.
Oh, all right. If it would please you.
More than anything, who else will die tonight?
The Countess? She is always walking around like she owns the place. Museum security must be maintained. That woman must die.
The Countess? Why should she be killed? Didn't she go home after the party?
Someone lets the Countess in and out of the building during the late hours. If I ever catch her, she will pay the consequences.
Maybe I'll be lucky this time. Maybe I could discover her body.
Yeah, perhaps it could be arranged.
That's one of the things I love about you, Wolfie. You have a wonderful sense of humor.
Danke. And so do you, my strudel. So do you.
This store is...
Dr. Miklos is a strange bird, but she's a decent sort all the same. I see her a lot at night working late. Sometimes she invites me in for coffee. She certainly is taken with the plate in my head. She must have looked at the scars a dozen times. Miss Delacroix is a wonderful lady, Miss Bow. A delight to work for. He's a quiet little fella. I think he does some accounting for the museum. Seems nice enough. The Countess is a quite colorful old dame, isn't she? I can't help liking her. Oh, he seems like a nice enough fella. I don't know him too well. Well, he's an intense sort of a gent. He's all bent out of shape about this dagger business, and he hangs around Dr. Carter a lot. He looks ready to blow a blood vessel to me. Why, that's me, Miss Bow. Ernie Leach. I thought you reporters were supposed to have good memories. No, I can't say I ever met the man.
Do you like New York City, Mr. Leach?
New York's my home, Miss Bow. I was born and raised here, and it's in my blood. Sometimes I think I'd like to go somewhere else, where life is a little slower. But to tell you the truth, I don't think I could ever really leave.
Mr. Leach, has 1926 been a good year for you?
Yes and no, Miss Bow. Times are tough, but at least I've got this job at the museum. That's more than a lot of folks have.
Do you like your job here at the museum?
Yes, I do. This sort of work doesn't really tax my brains, if you know what I mean. It gives me time to think.
Think about what, Mr. Leach?
You sure act like a reporter, Miss Bow.
Mr. Leach, do you have any idea who might have taken the Dagger of Amon Ra?
I sure don't. Well, I halfway wonder if it wasn't one of those Egyptian fellas. They probably think I took it.
Was the dagger well guarded?
Oh, sure. It was locked up tighter than a drum. Somebody really pulled a fast one.
Have you ever wondered what it would be? You pick it up and place it. Don't touch a slab of meat which smells ripe, veins of rancid, a full bottle of Dr. Moribund's guaranteed snake oil. The intercom crackles and you hear,
Ernie, it's Olympia. The release valve in number 13 seems to be jammed. Take a look at it when you have a chance.
you pick it up and place it in your purse. Don't touch. Don't touch. Current VAT contents, alcoholic preservative, warthogs, 14. You pick it up and when you push the button, you hear Could it be? Yes. It's heavy. It's shiny. It's real gold. It's got a sharp point at one end. It's the Dagger of Amon Ra. You pick it up and place it in your purse. Boy, the alcohol fumes sure are strong in here. While this is an interesting approach, have you While this is you pick it up and place it in your a typical light-hearted painting by anonymous Bosch called A Heart in Hell. The oil paint on the canvas is old and cracked, but characteristic brush strokes of brushes. Inspecting the painting carefully, you note the bloody blood in his paintings. Inspect. Anonymous Bosch was known for the rears almost three-dimensional as it shines. The While this is while the while 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 this is an interesting approach, no practical purpose. A magnif feels like with careful use of the dagger, you manage to pry the skeleton. You you do you don't. The cold story. It's a cold. Have you?
Oh!
A skeleton lies in the trunk. It's a close look reveals an inscription on the watch. To Dr. Archibald. You pick it up.
Am I gonna have to spank you? Amscray!
Maybe she's wanting to join us, yes? You don't. store. The museum doors are locked. I beg your pardon, Countess?
Here now, where did you get your mitts on that? Answer me! I really don't think that belongs to you, Miss Bow. I suggest you give it to me for safekeeping.
No, I don't believe I can do that, Countess.
Miss Bow, I said! Oh, I suppose you're right.
Are you always this upset by pocket watches, Countess?
Why, yes, dear girl. I've always had a dreadful fear of them.
You don't hear. You hear nothing.
Wolfie, your facial scars are so wonderful. How did you get them?
Fencing, my strudel. As a young man, I would fence with my Heidelberg friends. We would stop our opponent's saber just before it went through our faces, which would make the scars you see now.
Ah, that is very interesting. You did not use masks to protect your faces?
Nein, that would have been considered unmanly.
You'll have to show me how to do that sometime.
There are many things I can show you, my strudel.
Perhaps we should go somewhere less public, Wolfie.
Oh yeah, good idea. particularly since there's that annoying reporter wandering around the museum. That is not something I would have allowed if I was running things here.
Give it time, Wolfie. Perhaps you will be running things here someday, if I have anything to say about it.
Oh? What can you do?
There are ways, but come, let us speak of these things in more privacy.
The fabric of the shirt appears to be clinging somewhat to Ernie's chest. You pick it up and place it in your... There is little to see in Ernie's mouth besides the usual teeth, tongue, palates, and uvula, but there does seem to be an unusual amount of mucosa foam in the cheeks and throat, usually of death by drowning. There's also a strange trickle of clear fluid. With obvious distaste, you sniff around the area of his mouth. The odor is one of pure alcohol.
It's unfortunate that Ernie died, but his body is nicely displayed on that mastodon, don't you think? Makes quite a nice exhibit, actually.
Ach, you are smelling like the brewery, mein Capitan. Either you've been drinking, or you've been eating too many of those grapes.
Sure, and begorra. A man needs a little nip from his flask now and then, doesn't he?
Personally, I do not require the drinking of the alcohol. It would impair my mental and physical skills.
Ernie Leach has been murdered!
What was that, lass?
Ernie is dead!
So, you finally come to us to confess, is that it?
Confess? No! I'm reporting a murder!
And you was the first one to find the body again?
Well, I guess so.
Quite a coincidence, Fräulein. I think we should be interrogating you to learn the truth! I've had enough of your lies!
Calm down, Heimlich. If there's any interrogating to be done, I'll be the one who does it. Now then, lass, where did you find the body?
The mastodon room. He's hanging from some mastodon tusks.
Ach, he's probably just sleeping on the job.
No, I'm sure he's dead.
Well, I'll go take a look at him then. If I need to talk to you, I'll find you later.
You're doing a fine job, Laura.